Hello, and welcome to Dragon Ball Speak, a show where we summarize and review every episode of Dragon Ball Z, and we rate them each on a scale of 1 to 7 stars. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon.
And I'm Wesley.
And this is Dragon Ball Speak. Do you know what episode this is?
No.
Perchance.
Episode...
I believe 85.
We're definitely in the 80s.
Yep. I'm thinking we're in the 80s.
I'm thinking we're back.
Yeah, I'm thinking
This is episode 86.
86 it is. I got one question for you. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo-hoo.
Didn't mean to make you cry. Your life is ending soon.
Damn.
Or what was it?
Something like that. Coldest line in Dragon Ball Z history by far.
Yeah, so Boo made Vegeta cry, confirmed.
Yeah. We have a lot of confirmations in this trio of episodes that we will get to.
Especially the fact that Vegeta is scared of / grossed out by worms and wormies in general.
Which makes sense given his backstory.
Right, so it was alluded to. And the worms, as a matter of fact, they have a serious family dynamic. They got some stuff to work on.
They do. And they are working on it.
What does he call him? Flathead? Tapeworm?
It's like a combination of those words.
Flatworm? Flat tape?
Yeah. I have lots of takes, but we will... Well, not takes, just like little notesies.
Real quick, thanks to our Patreon supporters. We got a new one, Shuffle Tea.
Shuffle Tea!
Thank you to Brian Kosmala.
Brian Kosmala.
Aiden Wable.
Aiden Wable.
And the one, the only...
Raipato
1992. You were close. Very much appreciated. And then on top of that, what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. We'll find out later.
Yeah, we will. And
I was going to say Mind Trap is probably what I was going to say.
Mind Trap.
Episode 274. Yeah, so this one, not the best, but it was super well animated, and I really like that. I actually like this episode a lot compared to the next two.
Not me.
I liked the hijinks inside Boo's body once again, kind of like I said last time, because this time it was a little more canon and a little less looking like shit.
Little more canon, little less looking like shit. It's a country song.
Yeah, it's my favorite one. So Vegeta is mad at Goku because Goku does a blast, and he's like, geez, blow a trumpet. You were mad at me because I was making a lot of noise in here. And then Goku was like, oh, yeah, I guess you're probably right. Mm-hmm. Because he blasted the worm. But then Vegeta is going to puke because he doesn't like the worms. And then the worm daddy shows up. A twist that we were not expecting.
Yeah, he's a single father just trying to raise his two kids. And, they're getting into hijinks, and he doesn't want them to get in trouble. He wants them to stay safe. And we love a good earthworm father.
And we pretty much watched them die because they got shitted out.
Yeah. They're tapeworms, basically, then, right?
I guess, yeah.
Tapeworms are on poop, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
Now, Boo's poop is mostly liquid.
Yeah,
I've noticed every time they depict it. Every time they depict it, it's like a river with like candy in it.
Yeah.
So no wonder he had to make himself a toilet, because if you've ever been in a situation where it's liquid, I have.
You have no say.
No, there's no say, and there's no judgment.
Pray and spray, as they call it. Spray and spray.
Spray and spray.
This is the first canonical confirmation I want to go over. We've seen characters pee before, but this is our first canonical shit, I believe.
Allow me to think for a moment. Majin Poo. Oh, this is him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I just feel like it's more direct.
He pooped on the. He sat on the toilet in his house.
But did we know? We don't know if he pooped.
We didn't see it.
He could have peed. Sometimes I pee sitting down. This was like definitive confirmation that he was shitting, though.
Because he made the toilet There has to be
I don't know.
another commenters and viewers alike. Please fact check Wesley and see if anybody in Dragon Ball Z has ever taken a shit.
The only person I think that might have taken a shit, and it's fitting, is Mr. Satan. He seems like a big shitter kind of guy, probably on a lot of
I know
creatine and that kind of stuff, and he's just diarrheaing all the time. Diarrheaing.
See, he struck me as a massive logs kind of guy.
For sure. But like after he does his like workout routine with the creatine, I think he's blowing it up. And then after dinner, maybe with his steak and potatoes and a veggie, he's doing a whole lot.
Oh, he's primal.
Yeah. No, he's not. Well, actually, primal's not a thing anymore, as we've learned. There's been
primal's
a big shakeup
canceled.
in the primal universe. He was alive. Big surprise.
Yeah, we tweeted about
Liver
it.
King is no longer king.
He's Liver Prince.
Yeah.
I am now actually the new Liver King.
It's true.
I do eat testicles.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I can confirm that. I've seen it happen.
Where were we?
I don't know. I hate the worms. It just feels, it's the stakes. I don't know. I don't like that these worms are talking this way. It's really the voices that throw me off.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The worms are they don't feel like they belong in the show. I feel like I'm watching Nickelodeon.
Well, that part
show.
was still kind of like filler.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
Yeah. There's always a little filler sprinkled in there.
Yeah. So they get past the worms, and then they're like, okay, let's go find our kiddos and stuff. And Goku sees Gohan. Immediately, I know it's not really Gohan because the color shading is off. But I believe that's on purpose. And then Vegeta sees Gotenks.
He sees them fuse, yeah.
Yeah, he sees them fuse.
Which I believe... Yeah, it has to be his only time seeing them fuse.
Yeah.
So that's why his reaction was like,
What the heck? Yeah, so basically they're going to fight. They both realize it's not like the real thing. And then kind of with the Supreme Kai and Old Roshi Kai, they're basically telling us that these are spirit thoughts. No, thought forms. So basically Boo can just think of something and make it happen in his whatever part of the body they're in.
The thing is, when it shows us Boo, he's not thinking about this.
No, not at all. He's like running around eating pastries. But I mean, I can eat and
maybe
think
it's
about things.
Maybe it's a subconscious. I did like before this, whenever they split the path, when Vegeta was like, "What's your instincts tell you to go?" And he said left, and he was like, "All right, then I'm going right."
Yeah,
that's what I liked about this Magic Treehouse. Is the only thing I can ever think of with this sequence is like, yeah, it's mostly bad, but their dynamic is fairly good and entertaining.
Yeah, but sometimes it's weird though. Like a lot of Goku's lines were really weird to me.
They were really cartoony, and I almost feel like especially in next episode, they were really weird, really off. And you almost wonder if like the translation director or like the ADR director like changes on some of these episodes, because it truly was like
out of
jarring sometimes. Like some of the lines, I can't even think of any off the top of my head.
Neither can I. It was just like a lot of them. Even the way he delivered them was like weird.
The delivery was weird a lot of times, and especially in next episode, it also looked like dog shit. So like, well, actually, there were some really decent shots in next episode 275, but for the most part, it was like really rudimentary and like weird looking in some shots. And I wonder if it was like just a product of like extreme rushing because of the weird lines, the weird delivery, the weird animation. It's just really bad. But this episode it was one of the best looking episodes in the freaking series, honestly, up to this point. Like every shot was perfect. It was really nice.
Yeah, it's a shame that
the worms. It was the worms.
Yeah, I just really don't like any of the Inside Boo stuff. And the next episode really heightens that for me for a very specific reason. Or actually, maybe it's the last episode. No, it's the next episode, which we'll get to. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of over this stuff. But they do have some cool fights. Goku fights Gohan, and he even remarks, like, you're definitely not my son. I can tell in your eyes, but you do fight like him, and you do punch like him. And Vegeta's kind of going through the same thing. So it was cool to see those fights. Nothing too crazy. Just like, I don't know. It was just cool.
There's an imposter among us. That's all I got.
Among Us.
I wrote down imposters. Yep, and then Boo thinks of cake, and so they turn into cake at the last minute.
Yeah.
It was a good sequence. Like the action
what kind
was
of
good.
cake was it?
Well, good question. Our heroes couldn't decide. It was shortbread and what was
chocolate and eclair, but I'm seeing strawberry shortcake or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gave this episode a 3 out of 7.
I gave it a 5, mostly because it was really pretty. And I was entertained. There was never a moment where I was like, this is the worst thing ever, unless you're talking about the worms. But I do like that the Prince of All Saiyans refuses to be shitted.
Yes, yeah.
He said, first off, they're like, what are we going to do? They're like flowing down the path. And Vegeta's like, we need to run away. And then he gets up and flies away. And I'm like, I cannot stand in any media when someone is in a situation. I say any media. I guess it's mostly Dragon Ball. And where the people who can fly are either like, what do we do? What are we going to do? Or they're falling. Not like they're falling because they got hit, but I mean like they're literally falling, or like they're hanging off a cliff. It is slightly frustrating. Sometimes it's okay, but a lot of times, and then there's one arc of Super that handles that actually very well. Foreshadowing.
If I could fly, I would never touch the ground. Even like if I'm talking to like my friends that can't fly, I would hover just to let them know. Like,
if I could fly, I think that I would fly to. Well, have you ever had one of the dream where you can fly?
No.
So I have, and I pretty much fly around in the night sky.
Not even a specific place.
No, I guess it was. I guess there's no specific place. I don't remember.
That's pretty chill. That's chill.
Yeah, it's pretty chill.
My dreams, the ones I remember, are typically not very good. As in, they're bad. Death, carnage, destruction, the end of the world, that type of stuff.
I hear you were woken up by a fire alarm the other day.
Yeah, I was in a very deep sleep, and the fire alarm went off in the middle of the night, which was very scary. It's like my biggest nightmare for my house to burn down. So, fire alarm going off in the middle of the night. The same night I just put Christmas lights on my house. Very scary. And I guess, according to my wife, I had not woken up while reacting to the alarm. So I was like in deep sleep, but sitting up and like screaming. And yeah, and I got all the way, I think I got all the way to like the stairs before I was able to fully come to my conscious and, you know, get into save the house mode. Nothing was wrong. Faulty fire alarm.
You must have like been in like deep like REM
I
sleep
had
or
to have
something.
been. It was terrifying, and it really scared me, and it really scared my wife. I think me being like in a weird zombie mode where I'm screaming and there's nothing to do really startled her a lot. So that sucked, but
That is horrifying.
yeah, hopefully it doesn't ever happen again, because I don't ever want to feel those feelings again.
So here's
But I'd rather go through that than watch them fight along inside Boo's insides.
the Wong. Wong
Wongers.
from Wongers. Wongers? 275 is Deadly Vision. I already kind of went over the way it looks, for better or for worse, and I wrote very few notes down. Once again, in relation to what I was talking about earlier, there's a very long flashback in this episode, and it's the clunkiest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. So they find
McClunky.
they find Sergeant McClunky. Is that from something?
No, McClunky is what Greedo says before he shoots it off. he goes, McClunky.
I forgot about that. I knew it was familiar. Oh, McClunky. I completely forgot about that. Oh gosh. Anyway, they find all of their teammates and family members
and Boo's balls, basically.
Yeah, they are very testicular. And so they start cutting them out.
Oh, you know what they look like? They look like the things you got to throw your axe through in God of War Ragnarok.
They look exactly like that. I'm so lightheaded right now, dude. They do look
McClunky
McClunky. It really seems like it tickled me. But they do. It does look just like those, and those puzzles piss me off because a lot of times they're like, you have to throw it at the reflective rock.
Yeah, but
can't the angles are.
The reflective rock is there.
You can't tell it's there, and then half the time the angles are like the stupidest. You'll compute the angle in your mind, and then you actually target it with the axe, and it like is almost like auto aiming to where they want you to do it, and it's just confusing. Agreed. Anyway, it's clunky because they find Majin Buu, the fat Buu. Mm-hmm. Were you like confused? Were you like, whoa?
For a second, but then I remembered that's right. He got eaten.
He ate the candy.
Yeah. And then we got a long flashback to remind me.
Yeah, of course. So because you may have forgot, to be fair, that was
I mean, yeah, it was probably like half a year ago in the real world. Mm-hmm. Maybe even longer, actually. Possibly a year. Who knows?
This is after Super Saiyan 3. This is after Fusion Dance. Goku's time is up. Out from the Broken Sword. Gotenks is born. Nope, I'm wrong about all that. I don't really know. But it was at least like 40, 50 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy to say out loud.
It was such a long flashback, though. For all they needed to do was show Boo get turned into chocolate and then eaten. But they had all the stuff with Mr. Satan and B watching, and like it was just a lot.
This confirms my suspicions that this episode was like behind schedule because, of course, it's an easy way to put 2 minute save the animators from having to animate 2 minutes worth of. But anyway, they walked up to him and they're like, "Oh, what happened to him? I wonder. Was there 2 Boos?" Because of course they don't know. And he's like, "Well, do you want to try reading his mind?" And then Vegeta's like, "Yes, I suppose we can." And so they read his mind, which we haven't ever seen before, except the other time it was super clunky, which is when Goku shows up on Namek and Krillin's about to tell him everything, and then Goku's like, "Wait, no, I can just read your mind," and Krillin's like,
"Oh my god, I forgot about that."
Yeah, that's the only other time that I can remember that we've done this.
It seems like a very useful power to have, to not use as
quite
often
useful.
As they do.
Yes. So now Boo's inside himself, which this to me makes more sense than the mind forms, if you want to even
I
go there. But
this is my biggest problem with this happening right now with the inside stuff is so Boo's inside and they're just going to fight Boo inside himself. But it's not interesting because we watched a fight against Boo already happen. Nothing's really changed. They're just inside him now. And I predicted that it wouldn't really amount to much, and it kind of doesn't until near the end when some other stuff happens. But it was just like, why are we fighting?
I think all this inside fighting Boo is also filler.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's just
it
doesn't really make sense.
So boring, dude. It's so boring because like you said, what's gonna happen? They're gonna kill him inside him,
and then what? Yeah, like what does that even mean? Is he a cell? Is he mitochondria? Whatever. I don't know. It's so silly.
He's
very silly.
He's a deoxyribonucleic acid.
Deoxys is low-key one of the coolest Pokemon designs ever, in my opinion.
Except for his forms. I don't like the speed form. I don't like the defense form.
I used to go to the Space Center in Emerald on certain days because I thought it would take you to space to catch Deoxys because that's what forums said, but it never worked.
I got an action replay, and if you go to Canalave City in Pokemon Generation 4, run north over the water because you have an action replay for cheats for a really, really long time, you can find, I think, even if you don't have the events programmed or like the event items, you can find the Darkrai Island and you can find the Shaman Island.
Are they there?
They're there. And the Cresselia, I think, unless you can find that anyway. No, you can find that anyway. But the point is, I liked doing it.
We should bring back action replays.
They're back.
Oh, really?
They exist. I mean, not for Switch, I guess, but you can still get them.
Give me one on PS5.
I think my old brother Ryan. Anyone know that guy? I think he bought one recently.
For Switch?
A Game Shark. I think for his 3DS.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure they have them for 3DS.
Anyway, we get the knock-knock joke as referenced, as per the reference earlier. They smushed their faces together to do a blast, which could have been a really cool moment, but it kind of just was lame because the stakes were lame.
I do... This big moment, though, is Goku's like, on my go. Vegeta's like, no, on my go. Goku says nothing and does exactly what Vegeta says. Which confirms my suspicions. Goku sub. Vegeta dub. Vegeta dub. Vegeta dub.
He caught the Fortnite Battle Royale. Do you think he has the bigger hog?
No, but Goku... Yeah. I think Goku... in his submission knows that that's a soft spot for Vegeta, so he lets Vegeta think that he is the real... Goku's probably the real Dom in this relationship, but I think that because he knows, Vegeta's ego is a little fragile, he lets Vegeta do what he's got to do. That's why Vegeta says go, and they blast on his go. See,
I agree with your assessment, but I do think you can just be a general Chad while also having an underwhelming... underwhelming performance and underwhelming size.
That's definitely true. They're out there.
Some of them are among us.
Among Us.
Among Us. Anyway, knock knock joke. He did like this whack-a-mole thing.
Yeah.
Boo's voice actor to me is most of the time very annoying.
Channing Boo Tatum is back on the outside, but inside is jacked Boo.
Channing Boo Tatum, I like that. That was very good.
Thank you.
And like I said, the art was really inconsistent. Some shots I was like, those are pretty good shots, and then some shots were like really, really. There was this one on Vegeta's face when Boo like had them hit heads together, and like it was a close-up shot, and it was super weird. Someone like looked like they were from a different show. I'm telling you, like they pulled animators or artists from other shows and did that, because like some of them looked like from a different.
They got the Ed and Eddie team to work on this episode.
Or like, what's the worst? They got the big mouth guys working on this one, dude. That's like the worst style I can think of off the top of my head.
So nasty.
I will never. If you watch that show, to me, you are wrong.
I've heard good things about it. I've never watched it because I'm in the same boat as you. It's gross.
It's ugly and nasty.
Yeah.
I don't like
and
it.
nasty.
It is.
3 out of 7 stars.
I gave it a 2.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I was being a little harsh this time.
It's okay.
And now the evil Kid Boo. So before we talk about most of the trash in this episode, I want to hear your thoughts on Boo's new form.
Pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool form.
It's by far his best looking design.
It's also I imagine will be the last thing of Dragon Ball Z that I have recognized before. And it's weird because I was like, I have seen this guy, and I feel like I've seen it, and I've been like, because we've been watching this, I'm like, that must be just like the way people draw him
sometimes, yeah.
Because I was like, Jacked Boo kind of looks like this character, but like not as badass.
Mm-hmm.
Scares me every time. And I was like, there's no way we have like another form. We've gotten multiple forms. That Boo is smaller, so Jacked Boo seems like the Omega. And sure enough, I was wrong, yeah. But very cool. In classic Toriyama fashion, the final form is pretty freaking sick.
Yeah, dude, I love
menacing
Kid Boo's design.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see more because I think he is so sick. I think it's the only good Boo form.
Yeah,
truth be told, like the only good, not the other ones aren't bad designs, but this is the only good one in the context of what is going on to me.
If I was a kid and I had to be a villain, I would consider being like, if I like playing with my friends, I would be Kid Boo, not any of the other Boos.
That's how you know something's cool.
Yeah.
That is how you know something's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he's officially called Kid Boo. We don't know
name.
It is. We don't know much about him so far, but what is your suggestion? Or that's not the right word. Whatever. What is your
prediction?
No.
Theory?
Sure. On why he looks like this. So Supreme Kai basically more or less said this is his original form.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think that is? Why the reversion?
I don't know the lore reasons for it. I believe that the design is just Toriyama being Toriyama. We've talked about this with Frieza in Cell and really everybody. Like the final design, he keeps it simpler, cleaner, more toned down, kind of playing into the small but the most terrorizing figure. And this is like another example of that. This is the smallest Boo for sure, but he's immediately the most menacing and coolest looking. So I imagine that's why he's a toned down version. As for the lore reasons, original form is interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe he's like the original genie dude, but that I don't really know why he has these other forms then.
Because if you recall, Supreme Kai had a run-in with Majin Buu thousands of years ago.
Yes,
or something.
He says like the most terrifying thing ever.
Right.
That's been his whole deal. Is like, we can't let this happen again.
Now, right. So removing the Fat Buu is what turned him back into Kid Buu.
Yeah.
But my lack of understanding here is why would removing the Fat Buu not turn him back into like the gray evil Buu?
Yeah. And like, what is Kid Buu? Is he the removal of all the Boos? And if that's the case, what made Kid Buu
perhaps
the other Boos?
Perhaps since they removed all of the absorptions, this is, his original state, so to speak.
Yeah.
Maybe it was original Kid Buu, then became evil Boo when he split between evil and good. The good one became evil. And then ate the evil. No, I'm not even kidding. And then ate the evil one. But then we see him turn good again with Mr. Satan. So then the evil purges out again. Then this time the evil one wins and eats good Boo. This is the story. This is the story.
I know. It's just really funny to hear back. Like,
and then we removed all that shit out of there, and now he's back in his original form.
It has the same vibes as that video of the guy explaining the evil Wicked Witch of the West to his friend.
I don't know that.
Oh my gosh. If you know that video, say what's up in the comments because it's good.
What's up?
It has no context now because he doesn't know it, but I'll show him one day after this.
Hold on. This is my favorite. Hold on. Her sister was a witch, right? And what was her sister? A princess. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro. I'm gonna stab him. You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong? It's my favorite she wore a crown and she came down in a bubble, dog. I'm not fighting with you. Grow up, I'm not fighting with you. Grow up. Get it.
Yeah, Kid Boo's sick. I'm excited to learn more. I'm actually excited now, like moving forward. I just want to see this dude fight.
I think we've gotten all the bull spit out of the way, if you know what I'm saying.
I think so too. I think it's time for a Avengers showdown. And we can find out why when we go through this episode.
So they're in Boo, and then they're fighting him still, and then he blocks a blast that was going to hit Fat Boo, so then Vegeta kind of notices that because he's the strategist here. Mm-hmm. And then he goes over to Fat Boo, and he's like, hey, I'm going to yank him out, and then Boo starts freaking out, and he's like, no, don't do it, I won't be myself anymore, and then he does it anyway. And then they're like, oh my god, it's time to grab the pods and go, and then we teleport. This whole time, by the way, Satan and Dende are more or less watching, and they're still there.
Oh, wait, what? Satan. Oh my god, duh. That really threw me. I
just watched a stroke in real time, dude.
You said Satan in my mind dropped Mr. Satan completely and was like devil. And I was like, where was Satan in any of this?
Wow, that was bad, dude. That was you might want to go to the doctor.
Spoilers, we're recording this at like 10:30 at night. That's why the vibes are.
You may have had a transient ischemic attack. That's a mini stroke.
I might have had one of those the other night when the fire alarm went off.
Yeah. So Satan and Zende are more or less following Boo and just monitoring oh boy. Monitoring the situation. Are you good, bro? I'm good. You snotting?
Yeah. I won't delete it for the purity of the show, but if you saw that, keep it quiet in the comments.
Oh boy. And he's monitoring the situation. What do you think? Do you think so? There's a reason, right, that like Dende and Satan like weren't just killed. Like, why do you think this could be? Like, is there a? I mean, Dende, I guess, is Dragonballs. Or yeah.
No, they just needed another character. They just needed characters to watch on Boo.
You don't think they'll serve like some final purpose?
I hope not. Dende, I do. Dende's cool. Mr. Satan, no. I hope he's like gets crucified.
What if he's the first to discover the superhuman transformation?
Then I'd probably end the show. I would end this show.
In this show?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This is we are anti-Satan.
We are, we're pro God. Well, Dende is like kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know. Kami was
Dragon Gods.
So they yank out everybody and they're flying away. And Boo's freaking out. He starts screaming and flexing. So yeah, and then they basically they end up escaping through his head. I was hoping for an escape out the old hatch.
I did write
the exit hatch
because we didn't know what hole at first, and I did write what hole.
There was a sphincter.
There was a shot that looked like a butthole.
It was just
the inside was blue, which is different, but Boo is different. But then we went through like a long tube, and it was a volcano, and you can't touch the tube. It was getting hot. The bacon was sizzling.
The bubble gum was chewing.
Yeah, the bubble gum was chewing, as we all know. Yeah, they escape, and the crew is back. Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan.
Who catches the dub?
Coming up?
Yeah.
Who gets the final blow?
Sure.
Vegeta's.
Whoa! Been a little while since he's got one.
Yeah, I think it's time. I don't think he's ever got one, right?
Namek.
True. I think it's gonna be Vegeta's. Yeah, I think he's due for one. I think he's gonna be the killing blow because he's already dead, so he can like go in for the sacrifice. His last sacrifice didn't work. He kind of owes it to himself to do the damn thing.
Do you think they'll have like a BS, like a Vegeta, you are not dead anymore type situation?
100%. I expect 3 episodes at the end of this series explaining it too.
Yeah. We'll see.
And maybe, Chi-Chi and Goku got married, so... where's Videl and all them at? They're still inside Boo, right?
So I don't really know what the distinction is there. I think when he eats people, they are dead.
Yeah.
But when he absorbs people, they are in his sacks.
That's fair. So we have like a lot
But
of
he
people to bring
ate
back.
Fat Boo. So I think sometimes when he eats someone, he can choose to absorb them instead of just like eating them.
Do you think that is a choice made based on the plot?
That is not a choice that was made, period. It is a assumption that I must make because there is a lack of definition.
Yeah, so the who's up there?
People popcorn.
The girlies and
Bulma, Krillin, Android 18.
oh, that's right. God, there's a lot. Yeah, what the hell?
Chi-Chi got turned into an egg and stepped on. She didn't even get eaten.
Yeah. So she's just actually dead forever, probably.
I think they all are.
Yeah.
Good music.
Yeah. They're going to bring him back with the Dragon Balls, of course. That's my prediction. I don't really even... But also, you know what? What's his face up in heaven can just let people down anytime he wants, so doesn't really matter.
You're only supposed to be able to do that once, I believe.
Well, they all have one, right?
Well, who? Oh,
ones up
like
there?
everyone?
Yeah.
Like the girls, the ladies, and Krillin?
Yeah.
Yamcha.
Yeah.
I gave it a 3 out of 7. Like we already talked about Kid Buu. I didn't understand why he was getting buffer and then shrinky.
So the blood rushes to the muscles.
Oh.
Gets bigger, gets thicker, and then the steam explosion happened, and then it kind of goes down. But it doesn't go down all the way. It stays a little, hyped up.
Right. If I was in a movie and I had to do a nude scene, or for that matter, a scene in my underwear, I would not have a boner. But I would go to the bathroom and jerk off really quick. That way, it's like, I wouldn't necessarily even finish. But that way, as it comes back down, you look like you are working with significantly more than you actually are working with.
Every time I see one on screen, courtesy of HBO, that's usually where they happen.
Yeah, we've been watching White Lotus, and yes, quite a few.
Nice. Yeah, we just finished season 2. I'm always like, that's a little jacked up.
No, there's one in the beginning of White Lotus season 2 that is a prosthetic.
I do know which one you're talking about, and
it is about 9.5 inches soft. There's no... I saw it. It's like a behind shot.
It is like a trunk, like an elephant
like,
trunk.
Literally. And I was like, that is not, bro. Like, that, don't even try with that. It's not real.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's someone out there probably carrying a trunk like that, but...
No.
It ain't me, and I don't know if I want it to be me. That
Dude,
seems...
As soon as I saw that, I was like, that has to be fake.
Yeah. Are you guys you're in season 1?
Are we what?
You're in season 1?
No, we're about to finish season 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Season 1, I mostly didn't actually watch. I saw bits and pieces as she watched.
Oh, that's really good.
And then I jumped in on season 2. Well, I mean, it's barely connected, so.
Except for Tanya, but yeah.
Yeah, which of all people to bring back.
No, it's perfect, though.
Yeah, she's interesting.
White Lotus Speak, coming at you soon.
Probably not. I don't think anyone would really watch it. No. But it's good. It's a good drama. Aubrey Plaza.
How far
are
you?
Incredibly stressful. We're about to watch the finale of season 2.
Okay. It's a sinister
Everything with Aubrey Plaza is like very stressful.
It's me and Gabby, we watch it, and we were watching it, and every night after an episode we'd be like, this show is kind of like, colorful and happy and bright, but also like, stressful and depressing. But like, it's got some sinister vibes underneath.
It does.
Like, it makes me feel like icky watching it.
It does. What's funny, one of the main reasons I'm watching it is just the fact that like the production value is so high. It's shot on location, and like there's no green screen. There's no. It's really impressive, especially after watching Wednesday, which is like egregious
I
with
haven't
that
watched
green
it.
screen, bro.
I've been meaning to, but
There
I
are
probably
you
won't.
are you will. It's a good show and it's fun to watch, but like there are some shots where first off the CG monsters are like literally Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. I'm not, dude, no joke. And then second off, the sometimes like you'll see a shot and it's like the worst green screen you've ever seen. Like I'm talking worse than Thor Ragnarok on the with Odin.
Yeah.
Worse than I'm trying to think of another bad green screen. I don't really know. It's bad.
Yeah. Star
Anyway.
Wars prequels.
Sure.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. But that's not what we talk about. We talk about Dragon Ball, and tell them where that happens and stuff.
It happens almost every Saturday on YouTube.com and on all your podcast apps. And what? Just give me a quick, less than 20 words. What we got 15 episodes left in the goddamn series. We were kind of talking about this beforehand, but this was all of Dragon Ball for like 20 years. There was nothing after this. Now we have stuff to watch after this, but before there wasn't. So like, do you think that this is going to conclude in an overall satisfying fashion? I know I said less than 20 words. Here we go. And how do you think that this final fight, so to speak, against Kid Buu is going to go?
I do not think it will end in a satisfying fashion.
Why?
I just don't think they have it in them. Arcs end in a satisfying fashion, and then there's like an episode or 2 or 3 afterwards that kind of kill the buzz.
But I mean the overall like ending. Do you think Dragon Ball Z, which was originally the ending of everything Dragon Ball, do you think it will have a good ending?
No, because we have not been building up towards an ending of a series at all, in my opinion. And there's 15 episodes left to do it, and I don't think that's enough time to.
You think it's just gonna like end?
I think it'll be a cool finale arc, but I don't think I'm gonna feel like the saga of Dragon Ball Z has come to a close. There might be doing things that would indicate it's come to a close. I imagine. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a time jump or like something like that, kind of like with Dragon Ball. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that'd be like necessarily satisfying for me. I just don't see the show wrapping up like the saga that is Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z combined.
How do you end Dragon Ball? You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah, it's tough. Like it's.
Do you just like time skip to where everyone's old and like everything's over?
Yeah, you
or
could
like
do that,
what?
but that would be kind of lame. It sucks because they've kind of like kneecapped themselves on this because Goku, sacrificing himself, or Vegeta and Goku going out together, or something big like that happening. Like they've done that multiple times throughout the show.
And now,
and it's like, so what are you gonna do now?
And now, if they did that, it wouldn't be believable that they truly sacrificed their lives.
Yeah,
because it's been to the point where,
even though I know like Super's coming, like I could still believe in the fantasy of this show. Like if they do kill Goku or something, I could be like, okay, that would be pretty crazy to go 20 years thinking Goku's dead. But like when I look back at Dragon Ball Z, I'm like, well, that's not really something I would believe. And they've done that before. Like, is Goku dying gonna make me like sad again? I don't think you can beat the Cell fight where Goku sacrifices himself. I think that's like,
and that's the second time they did it too.
Yeah, but that worked. There's no way they pull it off a third time. Vegeta sacrificing himself. I think we already had a perfect moment like that. We've had his goodbyes that are great. I don't know.
It's frustrating as well because like if Gohan had been more capable of being the main character, which I sadly don't think that he really was capable.
I think he was capable. I just don't think they did it well.
That could be.
They time jump. He's in high school, and they make him do high school stuff, which is fine. But like,
he tried to turn it into like a slice of life manga, which is very interesting.
But it's like that's not your show.
In retrospect. Yeah. But we got Saiyaman.
Saiyaman's sick.
I like Saiyaman.
Yeah, me too.
No, others don't.
Well, they are cowards.
Well, some people do. My brother doesn't.
Ryan, you're a coward.
Okay. This was Dragon Ball Speak. Find out, watch us next time on Dragon Ball Speak.